This is a little instructional video on a 2006 Dodge Magnum with the 5.7 liter Hemi, codes p0522. Replaced with the aftermarket sensor. Found that you need OEM sensor, otherwise it's going to keep throwing the codes. Kept throwing 522 and 523, I want to say. However, you got two sensors down here. There's one basically right back there behind the alternator, which is your oil pressure sending unit. The one on the filter itself is going to be your oil temp sensor. They say you have to remove the alternator to do this. I find that's bullshit. This is how I do it. I'm actually doing this with my cell phone, so it's going to be a little tricky one-handed. If you got, I think it's like 1.25 inch socket, but if you're smart, you can buy a sensor socket set, which is what I did. Works perfect. You can actually flip it on there. The trick is to get the red lock tab undone. Usually a pick tool, you can kind of finger it, and if it's not in the right spot, you can kind of turn that sensor and get it into the right spot so you can get it unhooked. Once you got that on there, you can go ahead and put your ratchet on. Yeah, like I said, this is definitely kind of a booger if you've never done it before, especially with one hand.
Is that stand staying on as long as it's plugged in now?
Yeah, so far. Alright, got it on there. Let's go back the other way. Grab a hold of it. That right where I can, get both hands in here. Alright, loosening up the sensor now. So when you diagnose this, you're going to have two wires unplugged that have about 5 volts on it. Make sure your ground's good. You can also try to create codes. Put your signal wire to ground, clear the codes, recheck codes. You should have circuit low. If you unplug it and just leave it unplugged open, you should get circuit high. That right there, just that quick test will tell you that your computer's good. The sensor wires from your computer to the sensor are good, not shorted. Otherwise you'd constantly get the codes. Alright. Once you got the sensor out, I do strongly recommend check oil pressure before condemning a bad sensor. Real easy to do. Just right through there. Kind of tricky getting it. So that's what your sensor's like. It's going to have 3 wires. Your oil temp sensor is only going to have 2. Always get OEM. You have less problems, less comebacks. I just lost an hour on this job because I diagnosed it as a bad sensor. Put in aftermarket sensor, cleared the codes, went and drove it, shut it off, second key cycle, code came back. Ended up wasting another hour just to find out that you do need OEM parts, especially with Chrysler. I know that 01 Dodge Neons, they do not accept aftermarket camshaft sensors. So they have to be OEM, otherwise it'll just have a crank no start over and over and everything looks good. Sometimes aftermarket parts do not meet or exceed OEM specifications. Alright, that's it. Thought this would be a good video. Name's Anthony. See you later.